Folks, we are live. We have Lorelai, Miss LED Gengar here with us. Guys, this is gonna be a good stream. We're gonna go literally on every aspect of the hobby, everything from gameplay to judging gameplay to collecting to streaming to everything in between. Lorelai, give us just take your time to give us the background of how you came into this crazy wild space we're in.
Oh my goodness. Well, the Pokemon community is definitely something special, and I've been a part of this community since I was 6 years old. So over 20 years now, which is honestly crazy to think about. And I was one of the kids that never got out of Pokemon. I wasn't like Ninja Turtles here, Pokemon here, some random show here. I was like Pokemon all in my whole life.
That's rare. There's not many people that didn't take a break.
Yeah, it was definitely my every year for Christmas my parents were like, oh, we know what to get you, you're in the easy child. So it was convenient in a lot of ways. But Gengar's always been a favorite of mine. I actually started really liking Gengar because my best friend when I lived in Portland, we all used to play as children in like a cul-de-sac together. And we used to role play as Pokemon, and like one kid would be like the trainer and the other kids would be like the Pokemon, and we would like wrestle. So it's kind of like degenerate kid stuff. But I used to be Ditto because I was like Ditto. I had the big strat. I was like, Ditto can transform into any Pokemon. And then whatever the other kid is, I can just be like their weakness. And so my friend, who was like my trainer, quote unquote, she was like, hey, the other kids are complaining. You can't do this anymore. You're being unfair. So she was like, I don't know if you've ever played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, they actually have a quiz that you do at the beginning of the game to decide what Pokemon you are. So she kind of took that idea from that game and she was like, okay, we're going to do a quiz. We're going to decide what Pokemon you are. And then you can, you'll be that Pokemon from now on. And she did the quiz and I ended up getting Gengar.
And it just stuck?
Yeah, and it just stuck. And actually, at first, I really didn't like the fact that I was Gengar because I'm like a pretty small person. And Gengar is like this big, astral figure. And it just didn't feel like, I was like, how am I supposed to embody this big guy? So I was pretty upset about it, but she was like the older kid, so I had to listen to her. But over the years, she would like use Gengar as my name, like outside of us hanging out and playing. So like I just kind of like became like this very memorable like thing for me. And when I like picked a favorite Pokemon like over the years, I was like, oh yeah, Gengar, that one, that's me.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and it just so happened to be one of the most popular Pokemon in the entire hobby.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy looking back at it now and how popular Gengar has become over the years. It's pretty wild. But so as a kid, I really liked Pokemon, and then as I grew up, I stuck with it, and I actually went to Pokemon League, which is a service that Pokemon provides where you can go to like a local trading card game store and play with other people and just enjoy the hobby with other people. So I grew a community there in the play Pokemon space. And then as I got older, I started playing more competitively. I actually got top 8 at a regionals in Long Beach, California. I think it was like in 2015-ish. And then over the years, I decided that I didn't want to play anymore and I wanted to referee. So I've been a referee for a long time, since 2016. And I actually have been judging the last, 10 or so world championships. And then I started getting into content creation on Twitch, and it's kind of just become like a spiral, and now everybody's like, oh, your Gengar collection is huge. And originally it wasn't like I wanted it to be huge, it just kind of happened. Like I'm very like focused in on certain things. So like when I was like Gengar is my favorite, I'm like, I'm gonna get as much Gengar stuff as humanly possible. Like every Christmas I'm gonna ask for Gengar. Every time I see something Gengar that I don't have, I'm going to get it. Like, I don't have a lot of other, like, personal, like, collection plushies, stuff like that. Because, like, I just went all in on Gengar. Now, not to say that I don't have a lot of, like, other cards. Like, I have, like, gold stars and, different things like that in my collection. But, like, Gengar was, like, my main, like, focus, when I would get, like, random stuff here and there. And then eventually I looked behind me and I was like, oh, shit, I have a lot of stuff. It's like, this is crazy.
Well, what about, did you ever pick up that, did you ever get that Black Label Gengar Pikachu?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, the
The
Fiesta.
one from Collecticon?
No, I actually didn't get that because it was people are so toxic right now. Like with collecting, like I've been in the collecting space so long, and people are trying to juice like everything for all it's worth. You know what I mean?
Why do
Like,
you think I had you on? I'm so tired of everyone in like this investing market space at this point. I'm just like, so if you guys didn't know, we met at Dallas Collecticon. Zach Gem Mint, he made a big deal out of it. He's like, Alex, look, it's a true collector in person. You should meet. And I'm like, okay, I got it, Zach. All right, like, but no, I'm like, it's so refreshing to just talk to someone that just is actually still enjoying things and not like upset or angry all the time. It's refreshing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the Pokemon like hobby is definitely like a roller coaster. Like eventually I truly feel that it will have like a, kind of a recession. Like right now we're on like a, we're in high, and like I feel
Yeah.
like Pokemon's also a very like predictable market. Like I've been in the hobby for over 20 years, and yes, like things rise like over time, like steadily, but for it to peak like this, like so dramatically,
For sure.
like there's going to be like a correction, and we're kind of seeing that correction now a little bit.
Yeah.
But like it's just people need to think about like the big picture more, and that's the reason I didn't buy that Gengar in that moment, because I was like, even though I really want it,
But you did end up finding one.
so I got a PSA 10. I wanted a
Okay.
black label, which I still do want a black label, but I got a PSA 10 instead, because like spending 10K on something and spending 2K on something are different, in my
I remember
eyes.
when I came up to a trade night and I was talking to you. I'm just like, really? Like, when you told me you were trying to get the black label, I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, I'm willing to spend money on my Gengar collection. It just has to feel like it's like a fair price, right?
Yeah.
And 10K for that Pikachu Gengar card from the Chinese set didn't feel like a fair price. It felt like an inflated price. And actually, now the last sales are like 8K. So,
Yeah.
I made a smart decision in that moment because I knew that those cards were dropping. But for a PSA 10, I know the range of fluctuation is going to be a little bit like smaller because the card is already, kind of in a smaller price range.
Yeah.
And I don't mind paying a $500 markup just so I can convenience get it now, not have to worry about it, not have to buy it online, not have to pay taxes, all those things.
All that. Yeah.
Um,
What
so
do you think about the Chinese market in general? Like, because I mean, obviously, like you've been in the hobby longer than I have, so looking back, Chinese were always like, oh, the fake cards. You'd
yeah.
buy a box for $20 just to open something, and it'd be all a bunch, just a mix of crazy cards from all different parts of the hobby, and they'd all be fake. But now to like actually they've established, with all these exclusive arts and things. I mean, some pretty, I guess, like sought after cards and boxes. Like, where do you think things are going? Is it going to establish itself as like right up there with Japanese and these other languages, or
I
what?
mean, I think it already has. It's the public has come to understand that Chinese is a real thing. And I think they've come to appreciate it more. I mean, I was opening Chinese product on my channel on Twitch
Yeah,
way before they started doing the exclusive stuff, because if you really look at the Chinese product, it's a lot different than even the Japanese product or the English product. There's different things to appreciate about it. The texturing is actually a lot more intricate than even the Japanese product. And so I feel like depending on what type of collector you are, Chinese may be a better fit for you. So I
what were
think
you opening back then?
I don't know, oh, we opened a lot of the what was it? The simplified Chinese,
Okay.
because so um there is a certain part of China that they don't print the product to all of the same areas all at the same time in China. So they have what's called simplified Chinese, and they have what's called traditional Chinese. And so a lot of the sets that we got, like the Sun and Moon era and stuff like that, they actually didn't get till we were like in the Sword and Shield, at the end of the Sword and Shield era. So it was really cool because there were all of these sets that were really hard to get in English, or in Japanese, because they had come out years ago, but
Yeah.
they were just getting them now in China. So we opened a lot of that product when it was coming out. We opened a lot of Dreams Come True, and they even had like an exclusive Lily card in that set. They had some other exclusive trainers that was really cool, and that was really before people were opening Chinese product. Like some people did open that product because they knew about those exclusive cards. But Chinese was not nearly as popular as it is now, but definitely a missed opportunity for those sets back then.
Yeah, it's strange now because it's like, with Japanese, yeah, you get the Japanese set first. Then when the English set comes out, the Japanese usually falls off a bit and everyone's opening English. But with Chinese, it's so unique and it has all the unique arts that it's just kind of in its own, kind of bubble. And a lot of those sets they haven't really fluctuated based on what comes out in Japanese or English because they're not really tied to it, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. It's kind of on its totally own market trajectory. It's really unfortunate that, the tariffs are so high on Japanese and Chinese product right now, because I'd like more people to be able to enjoy it, because it really is an interesting, cultural phenomenon for them to be getting all of these, exclusive cards, and also like the texturing is different, like I mentioned before. So it's definitely something that people should be able to experience for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't know, I have all Lorelai's links in the description, her Twitch, her YouTube, and her Instagram. But she streams a lot on Twitch and also does, pack breaks and rip and ships. And it's funny because people think that streamers like the markets like this, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Like anyone who's been streaming for more than a year before all this big boom, it was much better when product was available, when you could sell packs for $4 and $5. And it was even better because the Chinese, Japanese stuff was way cheaper. Yeah. And people could open things that wouldn't break the bank at all. And you didn't have to like worry that if you didn't hit the big card, you lost out on a bunch. And yeah, I agree, because even with the English product being higher, normally people would just flock to Japanese or something. Well, now that's even high because it's so hard to get it in the States.
I mean, originally that's why we went to Japanese, because English product was so impossible to get. Everybody flocked to Japanese when nobody was buying Japanese product. And now Japanese is super expensive, and now Chinese is super expensive. So like there is all these other languages that we have, but it's, it feels so defeating when there's not like an out for people that is within, the average budget, which is, very hard for collectors. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been streaming on Twitch since 2020. And, over the years, I've met so many amazing people, and I like streaming on Twitch so much because it's like kind of like YouTube. It's not a payment based platform like Whatnot or anything like that. So the community there feels more genuine and feels more real. And we're there for the enjoyment of the hobby and not to try to make money off of each other. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes buyers on Whatnot will be like, I'm trying to get the best deal. And then sometimes sellers on Whatnot will like, I'm trying to make the most money off of you. You know what I mean? So,
have you tried like streaming anywhere else?
So I simulcast on YouTube. I haven't been doing YouTube as
well. I mean, like, no, like you even tried like the Whatnots or the Drip.
Oh, I did for a little bit, because Whatnot reached out to me and like wanted me to go on there for a little bit. But I am a very genuine person, or I feel like I am. I try to be. For sure. And it just felt very slimy to me, and the community there, like, it was just all my Twitch people coming to support me, because that's how much of a tight-knit community we have. And they were, having to put in their credit card information without, really intending to buy anything, just because they were coming to support me. And I just didn't want to make my people feel like uncomfortable in that way. So like, it just didn't feel like a genuine community experience to me, which is what I try to cultivate. And
I feel the same exact way, like it 100%.
Yeah, and coming from a collector background, like I own a Pokemon card shop now, and we do lots of other card games as well, but it's Pokemon focused. And the reason that is because I started that shop because I didn't want to get a job, because I wanted to keep doing Pokemon stuff. So like, I was refereeing at the time. I was in, a junior college. I was, I had just got out of high school, and I was like, oh shit, I have to adult now. How am I going to have
time? You own a physical LGS?
Huh? No. Yeah, no, I don't. I do all my sales online, but I do, a lot of card shows and stuff. But I partner with another LGS where we kind of co-own an LGS, but I don't consider that like truly mine.
I understand, but you guys like share allocations and
so we like share certain distributors I have that are strictly mine, and certain ones we share, but we get like product shipped to that address, and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
But to remember what I was saying. Yeah, it's just like, I started this journey because I really wanted to stay in the hobby, and I didn't want anything to stop me from being able to enjoy this community to the fullest. So I was like, okay, well, how can I, keep participating in the community to the level that I would like? How can I keep going to these tournaments and refereeing? How can I keep going to these card shows and seeing, you know, fans and stuff like this? So, you know, back, I think it was like I started my business back in like 2016 or something like that, like straight out of high school. I started my business.
That was like right around the time I was getting back into the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, you know, it's been a long time coming, but it's definitely been worth it in the long run.
That's amazing. That's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you have changed probably what your things you're doing, your business model, like multiple times over the years then.
Yeah, it's definitely grown over time. I get a pretty like steady allocation of product. Like every set I get like 200 booster boxes. So I definitely have like a big account for sure because I've stayed consistent. You know, when Pokemon was low, I still bought the same amount of Pokemon because I genuinely like Pokemon and I like to rip it. So it's not like I'm just doing it for the profits, you know. And I also don't mind sitting on stuff. So like when Scarlet and Violet boxes were $100, I was still buying them.
Yeah.
Like when my distro like told me to buy them, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take them. Yeah, I'll just sit on them and one day they'll go up, you know? Like it's very predictable market. Like I don't mind holding on to Pokemon. Like it's not a big deal.
What about like right now in the market? Like you said, you know, you feel like it's nearing the top and all that. Like have you just like kind of slowed down buying in the last few months more than you have in the past?
Well, so I don't buy like on the secondary market. I mostly just get everything from my distributors and then I will allocate that out. So I try to be very fair about how I allocate product for my business. I allocate X percentage for stream so we can, you know, constantly be ripping. I try to keep a high quantity of variety on my website.
Yeah.
So we have like, you know, a bunch of different sets from ranges back and I'll allocate X amount of product for like local people. So like, you know, the player community, my local community, all of that type of stuff. So people can come like do local pickups and stuff like that. I'll allocate a certain amount of product for like shows to get full market value because I think it's like irresponsible and not fair for people to expect everybody, because everybody has different situations, to expect people to sell things like at MSRP when the market is the way it is. Like everybody has different situations that they're in. You don't know what people got stuff for. Like I feel like if people are doing their best to make it like fair for the community and doing their best to like do what they feel like they can do and not let greed make the decisions for them, I feel like that's like fair. So I'll set aside like a small, you know, percentage of product to sell full market because, you know, I worked hard since 2016 to get my allocations where they are. I feel like I deserve from that hard work to sell a portion of my product at, you know, what it's worth now, because you know what's going to happen if I sell it at like, you know, 160 a box is somebody that I don't know is going to go and buy it and they're going to resell it for 300 a box. You know,
well,
what I mean?
let's be real, right? Like most of the people that are upset right now probably haven't been in the hobby very long, probably in the last year. And anyone that has been here a long time, they understand that. And also all the people that are upset at that, you know, want it to be that price, the minute the market price is under that price, they're not going to like come support your business and pay 160 when the boxes are 120.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just have to understand that it's just you're never going to be able to make everyone happy, please everybody. But anyone who's actually a supporter, they get it. You know, as long as you're giving the best deals you can and do the best. Because here's the other thing. We talked about this in a stream earlier this week, is that if you price things really, really low like that, that's fine. You're going to make a lot of people happy on day one. But then day two, you have no product. People that couldn't make it on release day come to your store. You have nothing on the shelves. And now they're upset that they didn't get a chance to get it. And now you don't have anything on your shelf. So people are going to stop coming to your store because there's nothing to buy. And so there's a lot more to think about than just, oh, it should be MSRP, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely a good point. Is like, it's like a catch-22 when it was $100 a box, right? For a long time, for the beginning of the Scarlet Violet era, it was $100 a box. Yeah. And if you weren't selling it $100 a box, they were like, well, that's the market, right? That's the market. Why aren't you selling it at that? Us as stores, we were buying it very close to that price. We were making no money at selling it at $100 a box. Sometimes some people were even losing money depending on which distributors they were using.
Well, especially if you're selling online and having to ship it and
Yeah,
fees.
you have taxes. You think we don't pay the government? You have taxes, you have fees for the transaction fees. There's so much back end stuff that happens that takes everybody wants a piece. Everybody takes and takes and takes and takes, and they don't care how much profit you're making on it. So they're going to take and take and take, and you're going to lose, it adds up. Like you might not lose, make $10 a box, you'll lose $10 a box, but that adds up if you're selling like 50 boxes at that price, right? What's the point? Right. And now that things are expensive, they're not like, oh, this is the market price. They're like this. Oh, MSRP. You didn't do MSRP when it was $100 and it was hurting your local game store, right? So it's like for me, I do understand. Like I'm a collector at heart. Like I do want collectors to get the product at a fair price. So like on my stream, we'll have product allocated for sealed. So like I just did a drop for sealed, and I did $200 for the new set boxes, and that's tax included.
Which is really
I feel
good.
That's a very fair price. And I did a bunch of boxes at that for the community on my website. So like I try to do what I feel like I can for my community for a percentage of my product, right? And then for rip and ships, I also do boxes under the market price as well, because I know that it's going to people that are supporting me, right? Yeah. But when it's at a show, I don't know these people. If somebody that is from my community comes up to my booth and is like, hey, can I get a deal on this? I might do that. But like for random people, like I don't know you. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've done my part for the people who support me. So,
Do you feel like over the years, like do you think you've been able to like maintain like the love for like the hobby, the game, the collecting, like being more and more engrossed in like the business side of things and the numbers? Do you think it's kind of like jaded you at all?
That's a good question.
Because I feel like I feel like the deeper I get, it definitely gets harder and harder because you're having to constantly operate off margins and numbers, and you're always thinking about it, and it's always in the back of your mind more so than, if it's not like your main source of income and you can kind of just like allocate some money for entertainment and fun. I feel like it's a different kind of process.
I mean, I feel like anybody would get kind of jaded in the current marketplace. It's just like how much it like affects you on like a personal level. Like I feel like you can feel jaded about something, but it can like not affect you internally. You know what I mean? So like I do definitely feel those way about certain things. Like I definitely like when I go to card shows now, I feel like everybody's out to get something from you. You know what I mean? Everybody's got an angle. Everybody, you can't. So for example, I got scammed at a recent card show I went at, the one that I saw you at. Actually, I got scammed because I was.
And you weren't even vending. So you got scammed as a buyer?
Yeah, because I was too nice and I was too trusting.
And what do you mean by scammed? Like bought something too expensive?
Yeah, basically, yeah. But they knew that the price was wrong, and they took advantage of me because,
because you just didn't take the time to check it. You just trusted it.
Yeah. Because they're like, oh, this sucker, we're gonna get her.
Was it a Gengar card?
It was a Gengar card. Yeah, and that's another thing is people who know me, they will be like, oh, she'll pay. Which is terrible. I don't have like everybody sees all this stuff I have and they think that I'm rich. I'm not rich. I live in, the standard, middle class area. And I don't like own a mansion or anything like that. So
what is that where you're at, like $1 million?
No, not even. But somebody took advantage of me because it was late. I was tired. My phone was dying. But I wanted this Gengar card, and they looked like a professional vendor. They had a booth, and they were doing the thing. And I just expect people to be genuine because that's the way that I try to be. And sometimes I forget that in the current market, things are so money based that in the past that would have been fine. Like I've been in the community for a long time. Sometimes I forget that the community has changed a little bit. And
absolutely,
it's hard to come to that realization sometimes that you can't just take people at their word all the time because, some people are not have the same morals as you, right? So
Yeah, yeah, unfortunately, like, whenever, like, the prices go like this, you're always gonna have bad actors come in, and everyone's just trying to take advantage of the situation, and those people are unfortunately gonna be gone as soon as, all the easy money and quick tendies are gone type thing, so,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
it is unfortunate, because what also happens, kinda like you were talking about, is a lot of the people who have been here for a good period of time, they start to get kinda turned off, and they start to kind of fade away during these times because they don't
Yeah,
want any part of it, and then so now you're left with, like, less of the good people, more of the bad people, so it kinda gets more
yeah,
enhanced with that.
yeah.
It's not a good situation.
No, I was actually talking to my roommate about this the other day. I think that if we do have a really strong dip, like, we're kind of at a high right now, and I'm kind of worried about when the new era comes out, because I feel like when the new era comes out, I mean, I'm not worried. I'll still be in Pokemon, I'll still be ripping packs. Like, nothing will really change for me personally. But the market, when the new era comes out, I think that people like things that are familiar to them, right? So even though we're excited about seeing new Pokemon, like I am, I love when new Pokemon come out. But I feel like the vast majority of people, they're like, I have no attachment to this character. This character is brand new, all of these things. So typically, when a new generation comes out, we do see a little bit of a dip
Yep.
in like sales, in popularity, and different things. So I think, we're coming up on the new gen. And I think that's going to be when the market is kind of like overcorrect, basically. And I think that because we've had such a strong influx of like investors and like people that are just getting into the hobby because it's the thing to do, it's, I think they talked about it on like a stock
Wall
trading,
Street
like,
Journal, yeah.
yeah, the Wall Street Journal talked about Pokemon. So we definitely have people in the hobby right now who were never looking at Pokemon before, might not even be fans of Pokemon at all, and they're just looking at it as an investment. And because of that, we've driven out a lot of the long-term collectors who helped build the hobby up to where it is, and we're buying not because of the value but because of the cards and the characters and the nostalgia and all of that. So when we take away those people and we add in these, people who don't really care about the IP all that much, and then we have the market dip, right?
Yeah.
Those people are going to jump ship. Those
Yeah.
people aren't going to stay. And now we've lost all of those people that were the foundation of the hobby. So I feel like there might even be a worse dip than we expect, because all those people won't be there to cushion it, when it falls.
Mhm.
So I'm really
Yeah.
interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, and, like, I've been investing in the hobby for a long time, but, investing in the hobby, it was always a long-term thing. It was always, there'd be ups and downs while sets were in print. They go through reprints and things, maybe they go over MSRP, they come back under, all that stuff. But it was always like, okay, they go out of print, and then a couple years after, now you start to rise in value. But, like, now it's like out of the gate,
Yeah.
$300, and people like talking about, investing in a brand new set and all this stuff. And
I'm
it's
like,
just
the
getting
set is
wild.
already what it would have been in
Yeah.
the normal Pokemon market in like 3 years. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
think I
Like,
think
we
people are
used to
definitely getting a
wait.
little they're
Yeah.
getting worn out.
Yeah, we used to wait 3 years for it to get to $300 a box, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous right now, and I don't know, it's uncharted territory for sure.
I'm even getting worn out with it. It's just like, because there's new stuff released all the time, and it's always like, "Are you gonna pick up this product, this product?" It's like, there's a new product released every month, and they're all exponentially higher than not just MSRP, but just like any normalized market price that these products should be at,
Yeah,
and they're gonna be in print for 3 years,
yeah,
and it's just like, I don't know, it's wacky right now. But then at
yeah.
the same time, everything just stays up that high, and it's just like, well,
Well, I think
what do you do?
we won't get to truly see, um, like, how the market is gonna be long term until the, stock market people dip out. Because I feel
Yeah.
like if you think about it in like money terms, like if you think about the Pokemon franchise as like a bowl, right? And you're like, okay, all of the Pokemon, normal Pokemon people were putting in X amount of money, like here and there. Let's say that, you had 5,000 people that were putting in, $500 to the Pokemon pool, right? They're putting the bowl. And now that we have the investor people, those people have a lot more money because they are investors. Like, this is their job. It's their job to spend money on things. So now those
It's a
people
good
are
job.
putting $1,000, $1,500 into the pool, and that's another, thousand people that are doing that. This pool that we have, the money in the pool has grown exponentially. And that's why the product is so much more expensive now, because we have this new pool of money sitting in the Pokemon hobby that has been inflated by all of these people with more money than the average collector, right? So I'm interested.
And then me and you are definitely part of the problem. With, I mean, rip and ships growing at the rate they have.
Yeah.
The attrition from the market is more than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Because I was looking, I did a video, I was looking back at like the print numbers, right? And from like, I think it was like 2020, 2021, it went from 3.7 billion cards to like 9 billion. And so it went up a good deal. But then from like 2021 to 22 till now, the numbers haven't increased. They only increased like a couple billion cards. And I'm like, well, the amount of cards that are being ripped on rip and ships is exponentially higher than what was being ripped back in 21. But the print runs haven't kept up. And I think that's another reason.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing, because I know that Pokemon like they're trying to print more, you know what I mean? But they can only do so much. I feel like people blame Pokemon a little bit too much sometimes. Like Pokemon does have some problems for sure, but I think that people have to understand that Pokemon is a big company and they plan things eight months in advance. I think on average is when they have a set printed. So the set we're getting now, they printed 8 months ago, right? So they're not able to see what is happening, you know, in real time with the set prints. They have to plan, you know, far ahead. And also, this is a physical item. So they only have a physical amount of printers to print this physical item. So if they like have to print more, they have to either buy more printers or stop printing something to print this new thing. Like Pokemon is already printing at capacity, right? They can't print more than they're already printing unless they buy another printing facility, which I don't think they want to do or will do, because they're thinking about the long term. Because Pokemon is the company and they know their books and they know that Pokemon is like this, you know what I mean? So they don't, and it's going to take them time to do that. So they don't want to do all this work to build a new printer, to make a new printing facility, and then it go, woo, you know, and then they spent all this money on a new printing facility and now they're like, well, that sucks.
That's what that's been my take, is like, you can't, if you do all this and then the demand drops or it goes to this normal cycle, now what are you going to do? Lay off all those employees, have an empty building? It doesn't make sense.
And Pokemon is like, they do care about, you know, their community, their collectors. Like I've worked with Pokemon for a very long time as a referee, and I know they 100% do care. Like I've been to the Pokemon headquarters many times up in Seattle. I have friends that work there. Like they definitely do care.
Wait. We got insiders at the Pokemon headquarters.
I mean, I'm not saying
breaking news on any inside scoops right now.
No, I just know the type of people that work at the Pokemon company, and I know they are good, genuine people, that a lot of them have come from the community themselves. Now, there are certain departments in the Pokemon community in the Pokemon company that probably aren't from the community or based on the community, but I know a lot of the card-related ones, there are a lot of employees that have come from the the so they definitely know what's going on.
We'll talk off stream about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything, but
no, I just want to hear all the insider info so I know what's coming. That's crazy.
Sorry, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't know anything.
Right. That's pretty cool. So is the headquarters pretty cool?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, you can get tours, and I mean, they don't let you see much, but it's still fun to go and, you know.
Do you get to see like where they're printed and things like that, or that's not pretty?
No. Yeah, that's a totally different facility. Yeah. That's just like where the employees.
So there, I guess it's all just what the office jobs and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like the people that work at the office. They have like some cool displays there. They have like something from like when they see the Super Bowl commercial. They have like that on display, and then they have like an uncut sheet that is like, I think it's one of every Pokemon that was ever made up to like XY, and it's like the sheet is like this Pokemon, then this Pokemon. So it's not like, and they're all from different sets. So they printed that sheet like special just for that display. And it's kind of funny because they put it up in a room where the sun comes in. So it's all like sun bleached. So it's like, imagine like how much that thing is worth, and it's like sun bleached as shit. Um, but
Okay, let's talk the Gengar collection. So we have to say it's the unofficial.
well, I want to say one more thing before we move on to the Gengar collection. So
Right.
I would say don't be mad at Pokemon about the print, except for the quality. You can be mad at Pokemon about the quality of the print. Pokemon 100% needs to print better quality cards, because if we look at card games like Weiss Schwartz, if we look at card games like Final Fantasy, if we look at most of Bandai's card games, actually, their print quality is excellent.
They
Like
are.
cardstock is excellent, texturing on the back of the card, texturing on the front of the card, like they got it going. And Pokemon's this company that is worth more, even more than that company, and they are printing shitty quality cards. So Pokemon,
Yeah.
you're not getting away with that, okay?
And even if you go back to vintage cards, like I don't know if it was when Nintendo took over or not, but if you go feel the old WotC cards, they're a great deal thicker than the new cards are.
Yeah.
The card stock changed.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a big reason why Pokemon doesn't want to change their card stock or anything like that is because you have to think about the player. This is a thing that helps me because I'm in so many different facets of the community, right?
Yeah.
So you have to think about the player community as well. Because so as a referee, I know that marked cards is a very serious issue in the Pokemon trading card game. And we have cards that are legal for play, through many, many sets. So if you suddenly make one set thicker or one set, feel different than a previous set that is legal for play, then players can't play that in their deck because it'll be a marked card. Like you can't cover that up.
Yeah.
So they would it would be very hard for them to significantly change the print quality of their cards without destroying the Pokemon trading card game. You know what I mean? They would have to come up with some crazy solution for that. But another thing is distributors for the Pokemon trading card game. They are the problem. They're one of the problems. They are one of the problems because you will have a distributor that on set release, and this is a bigger problem for smaller stores.
By the way, if Lorelai's distributor is watching, I'll take her allocation.
No, I like my distributor. My distributor is chill. But I've seen it with some of my smaller distributors. So distributors will, charge you market price or a little bit under market price for a set that has just come out, right? I just got an email about I just picked up the product, my allocation. One distributor I think gave me 3 cases. And then they just sent me another email today and they're like, hey, we have 3 more cases for you, but it's $220 a box.
Yeah.
And I was like, where did this product come from? Huh? Were you holding out on me and now you're charging me $220 a box? And now I have to sell it to, actually, no, it wasn't $220 a box. It's $270 a box. It was even more.
Ooh,
they wanted $270 a box. And I was like, so I sell it on TCG Player for $300 a box, and then I'm making the same amount that you sold it to me at because of fees? Or I'm making maybe $10?
And then to make it worse, you want to stay in their good graces.
Yeah, and
so do you take it?
Yeah, you have to take it. Because if you don't take product that your distributor tells you that is available, they think you're not serious, right? They'll basically lower your future allocation because they're like, oh, XX isn't willing to take this product that we're asking her to take, so we aren't going to give her, the product at the actual price when it comes out,
Yeah.
So
the next time you get one case.
Stores are being strong-armed, basically, is what's happening. And Pokemon, I think, needs to set better regulations in place for distributors not to have their cake and eat it too, you know what I mean? Because distributors, since Pokemon is so popular, and this happens a lot in sports, sports has devolved to this system of oh, it's a whatever goes, but they want to be a store, they want to sell things at market price, and they want to be a distributor, and they want to get billions and billions of dollars in product direct from the source, you know what I mean? So that
distributor prices have just went up in general lately.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. So that's
you're paying more on your regular allocations now, right?
A little bit, yes. Yeah. A little bit. But I think the fluctuation there is definitely more based on the distributors themselves than we had the influx with Scarlet and Violet base, but I haven't really seen too much of a change other than that, maybe a couple dollars. But
what's your feeling? Everyone's kind of rumor at this point is, do you think that's why they're sending so much more product through big box stores, is because Pokemon's kind of upset with distributors?
I don't think that's the case. I don't think Pokemon wants to take product away from brick and mortar stores. I
Mhm.
think Pokemon definitely does care about its local trading card game store, and I don't think they would want to do that. I think maybe, you know, there was a contract. I don't know anything about this. I'm just speculating, but I think maybe there was a contract change. Like, you know, now that Pokemon's more, you know, impressive, you know, the big box stores want a bigger piece of the pie. And that's probably one of Pokemon's biggest contracts. So they probably want to make their biggest contracts happy.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like are like feeling that way because it does seem like, you know, I mean, card shop owners continue to complain about it. It seems like they're just keep taking care of the big box stores and then kind of leaving the small card shops out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do something more fun. Let's do the Gengar collection.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys,
For
this
sure.
is the unofficial but soon to be official largest Gengar collection in the world.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying. We're
Working on the Guinness Book World Record of Gengars.
Yeah, so this is my Gengar collection. Well, this isn't all of it. It actually encompasses this whole room and another room, and
It's
some
2
stuff
rooms.
throughout the living room, and
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
scattered about here and there. But basically, since I've been collecting Gengar for so long, you know, it came to my attention that I might have the Guinness Book of World Records of Gengars. This was a long time ago, right? This was like way back. And I was like, oh yeah, I might actually. So I started working on it. But the problem is you know, I do a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats in my life, and I'm a very busy person. So I have to do a lot to get this collection certified. And the more stuff I have, the longer it takes, because you have to, you know, you have to categorize things. You have to send them, you know, a list of things. You have to send them pictures of things. And, you know, I have not only cards, but as you can see behind me, I have all this random shit. Like I have
How would you start to catalog all those
I
different
don't know.
plushies?
And like also, I don't know where these plushies came from. I don't know what the official name of this large guy is right here. I don't even know if that guy is official. Like some of them I do, like some of them. But like there's so much stuff that like it's very overwhelming to think about the expedition of like sitting down and cataloging each individual thing and like going through everything, because there's just stuff everywhere. There's stuff everywhere. Like I have a freaking Lego Eggo box that has Gengar on it. Like I have the most random
You
stuff.
got the Oreo.
Yeah, I have the Oreo.
Nice.
Well, I try not to keep food. So the Eggo box doesn't have Eggos in it because that would be nasty. But I do have like a. So I don't know if you guys know who Justin Silverman is, but he actually had the largest Gengar collection, you know, before it was like officially Guinness recognized or anything like that. And he has a YouTube video about it as well on his channel. But he sold his whole collection to me. And he was like within like the Gengar collecting community, he was recognized as like the largest Gengar collection.
So hold on, he had the official largest collection?
Well, like not on Guinness, but like within the community, like the community kind of knew who the largest like Gengar
You bought that, and yours is now bigger than that was.
Well, so I bought all of his stuff. So like it was now my stuff I already had plus his stuff. So it's like it's a lot. It's like over. It keeps on getting bigger every time I say the number. Like I think originally, like 2 years ago, I was like, oh, you know, 4,000 items, and now I'm like 7,000 items or something like that. So it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
You
And those are all unique
every card,
items.
right? You have every TCG card?
Yeah, I have at least one of every TCG card, and I'm actually releasing a video on my YouTube channel soon, talking about how I'm now collecting 24 of every card.
24?
Just 20. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Here, I'll get the binder real quick. I'll show you.
All right, 24. I was gonna say that's not Gengar's number.
Yeah, you have to guess why it's 24 in the chat.
I can't figure it out. It's a weird one. Maybe, I got it, because the binder sleeves are 12 and 12, maybe? Yep, the chat is saying the same thing. 24 spots in the binder. It's got to be it.
Yeah, exactly. So I use the quad rows, and the quad rows have the 24 pockets. So right now we're working on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I have a couple more of these that I have sent out for grading. But
I've seen some of your pictures. You have 24 of the team up ones too, don't you?
Yeah, they're in here somewhere. They got these guys, and these are like the hyper rare ones. There's the team up guy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You're not going to see that too often.
Yeah. So you got the full arts. We got the old school Gengar EX.
Oh my gosh, yeah, from Phantom Forces.
Yeah, this binder is
Now, are
very,
you
very
like?
expensive now. I also do the cameos. So this one has the Gengar in the corner, the Pikachu. We got the Fido with the gang sitting on the Gengar.
Yep. What about the Ghastly? Yeah,
the
there
Ghastly,
it is.
got them in here. Yeah, so like.
So are you big on condition? Like, are they all like near mint or what?
I try light play at the minimum, but like if it's a good deal for a damaged Gengar, especially if it's like a really, really expensive one, it's going in the binder anyways. I don't really mind.
So if you don't buy from the same guy you did at the last show.
Yeah, most of them I try to get in a little bit better condition if I have like a choice, and if it's not like the difference between $500 and $1,000, right? It's a pretty big jump, but yeah.
Oh yeah, especially with like the X, Y, and Sun and Moon card, just getting like it's getting a lot more of a margin between like some of the played ones and some of the near mint ones. It's because the grading plays so high.
Yeah,
but you have a lot of PSA 10s and what, like Beckett Black Labels as well.
Yeah, I have a decent amount. I don't have as much as Gengar Gang does on Instagram, but you know, we've come to an agreement that he has more Black Labels, but I have a more extensive Gengar collection overall. So we've kind of come to an agreement in that regard. But I'm gonna try to catch him, you know, one day. I do like the Black Labels; they are clean.
So Black Labels is like it's a whole different world.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely Black Labels is its own ecosystem. I've kind of realized now that I'm trying to collect more Black Label Gengars, I'm realizing that it's very tricky. It's a very tricky thing because there's so little of them on the market that when you do find one, it's like, what do I even pay for this? Like, am I getting ripped off? Am I not getting ripped off? Like,
have you ever hit a Black Label? You're like a graded one yourself?
Yeah, so I have a Battle Fiesta, I think it's the 2016 version with Pikachu, and it has the Mega Gengar in the corner being all spooky. Okay. And that one I got graded myself. Came out a Black Label.
Any English?
No English. English was tough.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it is so tough. But I would say for my Gengar collection, if anybody wants to try to challenge my Gengar collection and say they have more, I'm always down for a challenge, but I guarantee you will lose. The guy in China who submitted his Gengar collection, he only had 1,200 items. It almost makes me a little bit mad because I was like, bro, you couldn't do better. You couldn't do better than that. Like, you couldn't do like a little bit more of a challenge. Like, that's
your competition.
That's all I got. Damn.
You mind talking about your boyfriend at all?
Yeah, we can talk about him. So if you guys, you can start off.
Okay, so her boyfriend's Azul GG. What'd you say? Top four player on the TCG.
So his ranking like moves a little bit around, but he's been, you know, first overall in America many years. But he got top 4 at Worlds at Yokohama, and he
was ranked number 1 for a while.
Yeah, he's been ranked number 1 several years. Yeah.
So you used to play. You've come along to the collector side, but you said he still just doesn't get any of this.
No, not really. I mean, he knows that I do it, and we actually have a couple videos on my YouTube channel of him opening product with me and, you know, talking about stuff. But I actually had him do a set review for a couple sets. So yeah, but he doesn't really.
So like when it comes to like the PSA 10, the Black Label, I'm sure he's just like out on that, right?
He's like, I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't know any of that. He doesn't even like really understand the appeal of like an alt art or like stuff like that. I mean, he gets that it's like a prettier artwork, but he doesn't like truly like understand. If it's not a card that you can play in a deck, then it doesn't really make sense to him. And he always goes with the lowest rarity cards as well because of like the different hollow textures and things like that. Because he always tries to keep it as beneficial for him during a deck check as possible, because sometimes depending on how the hollow is printed, it'll like curve in a certain way, or it could create a marked card situation. So he likes to try to avoid that as much as possible, because the marked card penalties are like game losses, and they get pretty extreme very quickly. So
he doesn't bling out his deck with all the gold cards. And
no.
Have you ever beat him?
Yeah, I have beat him. Yeah, a few times. In my prime.
In your prime.
Yeah.
You don't play at all anymore? You're out on that?
I do play. Yeah, I do play a little bit, but you know, time is a resource, so I don't have as much time as I used to, but I definitely try to play where I can.
Yeah. So, I haven't watched a ton of your Twitch streams, I gotta say, but like, other than the rip and ships, what all do you do on streams usually?
So sometimes I'll like play Pokemon games. Like we were playing Legends for a bit when it first came out. But I
Legends was good.
typically, huh?
Legends was good.
Yeah, it's a good game. I didn't like it at first because it's very like grindy. Like they're almost putting you through a tutorial like the first, 20% of the game or whatever
Yeah.
it is. But they like it's very much hand holding at the beginning, but it opened up eventually and it became like really, really fun. So I loved that. But other than that, we mostly just do like rip and ship content. And I have like a bunch of different I don't know if they have this on YouTube, but on Twitch they have what they call channel point redemptions. So there's a bunch of different like community activities that you can redeem channel points for. So like one of them is like show your collection. So I am a very unorganized person. So I have a lot of expensive cards that are in really weird places. So like the other day I pulled out this box from my closet and I was like, okay, chat, today we're going to look in this ETB and see what it is. And I had no idea what was in there because I just set stuff on the shelf and I forget about it because object permanence. And it was, I can actually show you because it's like,
My OCD is like going crazy right now.
Yeah.
If I came over to your place, I'd have to like organize it all for you.
Dude, that's what my Twitch stream says. They're like, girl, let me in your house and I will organize all your Pokemon.
You know what? I'm so jealous of people like you though, because like you guys get you guys get to go find stuff that you forgot about. You're like, oh, I forgot I had this for me. I never get that experience because I like always know where everything is.
Yeah, so we like have this baggie. So randomly, so I didn't know what was in here. So I just pulled out this ETB and I was like, okay, we'll look through some collection items.
For your release Charizard.
And then there's a staff packet from Lost Thunder from when I was judging. And then we got like more staff packets. We've got like the Unbroken Volcanion staff packet. We've got a whole packet of staff promos for this lady. We've got some staff team up Charizards in here for some reason.
Gosh.
And then we've got like another, I don't even know how much these are. These probably like an insane, because this comes with one of each of the different staff cards.
You need to grade those.
I probably should, but it's more fun to just keep them tucked away and then find them every 10 years.
Every 10 years? Jeez. It has been. Well, no, I guess it's only been about, 6 years since Team Up? 7 years, maybe?
Yeah, and then, like, some other stuff that was in there were, like, there were all, like, these top-loaded cards, which I had no idea what they are. So, like, there was, like, a base set Charizard, birthday Pikachu.
Original birthday Pikachu.
A Ho-Oh. See, it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, they're all different era cards. It's like a random, black and white shiny. A Haunter, it's like it's a mystery.
Do you even like remember like when or why you picked these up?
No, I mean these are probably just things that I like got in my collection like over time, and I just kind of like set to the side or something. I don't even know. Yeah, legendary collection, evolution. Yeah, I have a crate. I mean, I've been collecting for over 20 years, so I have like my personal collection pieces, and then I also have like the things I bought over time for the store, and like a lot of stuff.
Is it like hard? Is it hard for you to sell stuff?
No, it's not hard because I only really care about Gengar cards. So like these, I don't really have any attachment to, but I know they're valuable. So like, and I also like, I don't really care about money all that much. So as long as I can sustain myself and my current lifestyle, like I don't need a bunch of extra money unless I have like something really specific that I'm like trying to buy or like something that I'm trying to do right in mind. So it doesn't like make a difference to me if these are sitting or if these are sold somewhere. And also Pokemon like always goes up, so it's like fine if it's sitting.
Pokemon always goes up. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Everyone just knows Pokemon only goes up.
I mean, if you wait long enough, it does.
That's what I always try to tell people. No one wants to wait.
Yeah. Also, I feel like people always like don't buy when it's most intuitive to do so. Like the FOMO is like real. Like people, and I do it too. I think it's just like, we don't want to spend money, but then sometimes we feel like we need to spend money, and those times like drive us forward.
And there's obvious, like, don't you want to know who the person is that buys the first grade of every card out of every set, every release?
Oh my god, why do they do it?
Who are these people?
They're just people that have way too much money, and they just don't care. It's like they just get out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
it's like
don't know, bro. It's
they have to have the first, the first PSA label
maybe
of that
there's
card ever graded.
yeah, maybe there is a really niche community of people that chase the first certain number of every card.
Yeah, like
You know?
somewhere in like Singapore or Dubai or something.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
there's some juicers out there for sure that like the people that buy the world championship cards, the ones that people win when you
oh
like
yeah.
get yeah, those people, those are some juicers. Like when Azul got fourth, he had like so many like brokers coming to him, like trying to get
Did he let it
him to
go?
sell the card.
Did he let
Yeah.
it go?
Yeah, he did let it go. Yeah, he sold it for a decent chunk of
Oh,
change.
I'm
I don't know if
sure.
you would want to say how much it was, but it was a lot.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean that's out of control, man. Hey guys, if anyone wants to ask Lorelai any questions or have any questions for us, leave them in the chat. Put question in front of it so we have a good idea. But
Yeah,
I did want to like see if anyone else wanted to ask about it. But
yeah, for sure. And I do see a couple people in here from my stream. Thank you so much, you guys, for stopping by. I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Yeah, that's our next stream is on Wednesday.
So when do you stream? Wednesday?
We stream every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually on Wednesdays, we'll start around like 5 p.m. PST. And then on the weekends, we start like an hour earlier. And I do start my Twitch stream a little bit earlier than my YouTube simulcast. And the reason for that is, orders come in at 5. I usually am setting them out. And then we run what's called a marbles race. And this is another thing I don't like that YouTube doesn't have like plugin integration, because it's so nice on Twitch because I can do all these fun things with chat and it's like, spice things up. So on Twitch, we have marbles, which is like you can type !play and then a marble will pop up on the screen and then it'll roll down this track and like whoever is first, we give like a prize. And that's like, we do that while we're waiting for the stream to start. But YouTube can't participate. So I usually don't show that part at the beginning of the stream because
that does suck. You're simulcasting and only half can do it. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, I feel bad because I know people are going to ask, like, oh, how do I participate? I'm like, you can't. Like, so it's like, I don't want to do that. I wish.
It is weird how people don't just like switch over to the Twitch stream.
Yeah, it is better.
I know. Everyone says that. Honestly, like there's a part of me that wishes I would have kind of started my streaming on Twitch because, like you said, it is a lot more conducive for streaming, where YouTube more videos wise.
All right, I do have a question. Do you have any sealed booster boxes with Gengar on them, Phantom Forces, etc.? I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but I do. So right next to me, right here, I have a whole wall and it's like a cabinet wall, and it's all sealed product, just Gengar related. So yes.
Oh, so you probably have what the Phantom Forces ETB?
Yeah, I have Phantom Forces ETB. I have Phantom Forces booster box, Team Up booster box. I have the Chinese exclusive product, the simplified Chinese with the Gengar and Mimikyu. I've got some old vintage packs. I have Gengar like Lost Link in Japanese. I have the Phantom Forces booster box in Japanese. I've got a bunch of stuff. Yeah, if you check out my Instagram, it's LED Gengar on all socials. So if you want to see me anywhere, Instagram is where I show off the majority of my Gengar collection. So if you want to see all the Gengar stuff, check out my Instagram. I did post a video or a picture of this shelf, so it's on there somewhere.
Here we go. We got it right here, guys.
Yeah, I think it's down there somewhere.
Crazy amounts. Did you do content with Real Baking Nate?
Yeah, he was at World, so we were hanging out and we did a video together.
That's awesome. There's the team up.
Yeah, all the content, creators are super sweet. So
yeah, that's wild. But yeah, guys, the links to her Instagram is in the description too.
Yeah, it's that one right there. It's below, right below that one. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. How long ago did you get that? Did you have it from the beginning or did you get it recently?
I got that probably it was more recent. Like I definitely paid a decent amount for it. I think I paid like $2,000 for that or something like that. So I didn't have it since it came out now. Because back when I first started collecting, we didn't really think about sealed product.
Of course not.
Yeah.
That's why all that stuff is so hard to come by these days.
Yeah. So you kind of in a similar boat on some things. All right.
Abraham said, what do you think you have such a different mentality towards Pokemon than other newer hardcore collectors? Time?
I think I think it's just like a growing up with the hobby. And I think people that have different personalities as well. Like I'm a super empathetic person, so whenever I think about something or do something, I always think about how it affects other people. And like I hate to see other people like sad or upset. And so I just try to do everything in my power to try to be as fair as I possibly can, while also like caring about myself and my, own well being. So I just feel like it's a mixture of like experience and like the person's personality.
Yeah, I think it's also like the waves. I think the longer you're in the hobby and you see the waves we talk about, you realize that it's only really like this during these kind of times. Because, like when I started making content 3 or 4 years ago, no one, I mean, there was like always rifts in like the market investing space, but no one like
Yeah.
outside really cared about anything I was saying. But then when things get like, scarce like they are now and really expensive, all the hate comes, right? And I think that's what it's like for hardcore collectors. It's like people get really intense when the
Yeah.
hobby's really intense.
Yeah, they do.
But
Yeah.
then as soon as like things fall off, people will kind of go back to just being, kind of passive and letting things go.
Yeah, I think with the experience also comes like where where you can like let some stuff go, right? You're like, and I also really try to think about like what I got stuff for. I try to base my prices and like my mentality on like how much am I making on this item? Like, do I really need to be making that much on this item? You know what I mean? So I try to give like a fair, like if I know I got this back when the dip happened, I'm not going to sell it for as much as it might be worth because I know I'm already making like $100 on it or whatever the percentage is. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't really need more than that. That feels good to me. You know what I mean? So it's just
Especially if
like,
you have other things to do with the money too.
yeah, yeah,
This is a good one for both of us. In the future, if Rip and Shift's demand dies for some reason, what do you each of you plan to do with the business wise at that point? Hypothetical question, of course.
I
Ooh,
mean, for me, I'd probably still continue making content because I was even I was even ripping product on stream before I did Rip and Ships. So
okay.
my Rip and Ship channel started because I had one of my locals that usually buys product from me, came over and he asked me if we could rip his boxes in a box I had for myself on the stream together. And I did that. And then people asked, they were like, hey, can you rip product for me? And then it kind of spiraled. So it was never my intention to do rip and ships. It was always just my intention to enjoy the hobby. And I will still have my store where I'll sell sealed products. So I won't, like, I can get the income that way as well. And I'm a very savvy person, or I at least try to be. And so I always take opportunities that come my way. Like I try to make the most out of every day. I try to, live life to the fullest. And I feel like I will, find something to do that makes me happy and I'll make content about my Gengar collection still and I'll, sell product outside of stream or I'll do what I need to do.
Yeah, I mean, my answer is pretty much the same. Like, obviously, to continue to make the content. I grade cards, so like, there's always like revenue to make from grading cards, and just live on less. Honestly, like the income would go down, but like I don't know. I mean, it's nice to have more income, but it's as long as you don't have a lifestyle that like you need to afford some high level of income, it's not
Yeah.
as big of a hit. But as far as like the rip and ships, like you've been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for at least a year and a half, if not a little more now.
Mhm.
And when I started, everything was still relatively cheap. Like this was well before the whole surging sparks and the booms happened. I
Yeah.
mean, we were doing it when packs were literally $4. Like I was
Yeah.
selling packs on stream for $4.
I mean,
And
sometimes we would sell them for less than that, just
yeah, and
depending.
we were having fun. Like everyone was having
Well,
fun. There was no
also,
and there were sales happening.
yeah,
And I mean, so I don't know if it really goes away. I think it just goes back to not being as much of a financial strain. And because I think a lot of people kind of worry or not worry, but like think that once products available in stores and everywhere, no one's going to want to rip streams. But I think it's more about the community and just hanging out and ripping packs with your friends. And as adults and now like in this new like social media world, you can't hang out with all your friends in person all the time. So you get on stream and you kind of rip packs together then. And I
mhm,
think it's similar to just going out in other social situations. So
for sure. I mean, I don't see it going away anytime soon. I really don't because like um online is the future of most things. Like technology is the future of most things as we advance as a society. So I don't really see it going away. But I think that, even if it does, become less popular, I think the people that are not as concerned about like making the most money are going to be the ones that are the most successful, because we also are the ones that are like, I feel like, the most creative. And like for me, when something's not selling on my stream, I try to find fun ways to make it more interesting, right? We'll do bounties, we'll do jackpots, we'll do like mystery bags, we'll do different incentives to try to make it more fun, make it more interesting, make it a game. So it's all about just trying to make the best out of your situation. And if you're willing to try to make the best out of it, I feel like you'll be successful.
You know, it's so weird. Like maybe I just talked to all the right people, right? And you being one of them. It seems like everyone I talk to in this hobby is pretty financially responsible,
Yeah.
but you always hear the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, I don't spend more money than I need to. Like, I pretty much spend money on nothing, to be honest, actually. I spend money on Gengar stuff, food, and rent. That's like it.
Yeah,
Like, I don't really splurge on anything. It's just
it's
like
weird though. Like
essentials
whenever
and Gengar.
if people like an outsider sees like your collection, like, oh, she must be broke and waste all her money on Pokemon. And it's just like it's not. I've never met anyone in this hobby that collects that's broke
Yeah.
or that is like or like financially irresponsible, racking up credit cards and all this stuff. I don't know why that's always like the go-to for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's all about like perspective. It's like outside looking in, and this happens with lots of things. Like, people judge people just based off of like, what you can see on the surface, but it's
Mhm.
typically not correct to do that. So, you know.
No. This is a good one. What makes Pokemon card collecting different from Beanie Babies, tulips, etc.? Serious question, not trolling. He had to make sure we knew he's not trolling.
Yeah, you can go first on this one.
What is it makes it different? Um, I would say, I mean, obviously the fact that it's the largest media franchise, it's worldwide, but it stood the test of time. It's already went through its fad phase. I would say, like in the '99, it fell off like a great deal with like the general public. But the fact that now the way social media is, it kind of keeps the community connected all
Hmm.
times a day, every day, worldwide. Whereas before, after kind of your friends around the neighborhood stopped really collecting it, and after the people around the school stopped trading cards, you got a little older and you were into other things. Um, it kind of like fell off in like other than going to like your local card shop or like something like that. You weren't kind of engrossed in it. Whereas like now it's at the, everyone's on their phone and their computers all the time. You're in Discord, you're on Reddit, you're watching content. I just think people are so much more, I would say, like connected to it now, to like their hobby. And maybe it goes somewhere way in the future, but like in our generation, I just don't see it happening just because of how entrenched it is in everyone's lives.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really about like how it started. Like, we had the building blocks like when we were, well, at least for some of us, right? You can be younger people in here, but when we were young, and so it's the nostalgic factor has carried this hobby for a long time throughout the ages. And it's not just the nostalgia, but it's also the sense of community, right? I don't think like Beanie Babies, all of those things you mentioned, I think they probably do have some sort of community, but I think the community that Pokemon has worked to cultivate is so much more vast and so much more, is like so much deeper than a lot of people really understand. And there are so many different facets of the community. Like, there are so many sub communities within Pokemon that people like explore. Like, there's like, I'm in the Pokemon trading card game scene. I'm in the, refereeing scene. There's the people that really play the Pokemon video game really heavily. And there's many different video games that have come out throughout the Pokemon franchise. And each one of those is its own subculture. And then there's the trading card game. There's the casual collectors. There's the the people that play it competitively, and there's the people that collect it as an investment. So you have all of these. Pokemon offers so much to so many people, and there's so many different things that you can get out of it that it really appeals to almost like everybody if they're willing to embrace it.
Yeah, and the whole community thing, it's like it's a hot topic, is like, it got overused because guys, if you like, start to meet people in the hobby and you like, meet up at shows or, the same people are in your chat, your live streams all the time. Maybe you're in Discord, conversations and private chats with people like you really do get the sense that like, it's just like having friends at home. It is the sense of like community, camaraderie, whatever it is. Whereas like, yeah, just throwing around like the community on like YouTube videos, you see it's overused and stuff. But
Yeah.
what she's saying is true. Like you really, once you kind of get deeper in each one of these little groups, you do get that sense of community, and everyone is like a lot more out for each other and like helping each other out than you would, normally see on some of these social media platforms.
Yeah. And I have evidence of this in my community, like direct evidence. So on my stream, I co-stream with my co-streamer. His Twitch name is Concrete, and he actually was my Twitch mod back in 2021. And he had a difficult situation. He lived in Pennsylvania. I live in California. He had a difficult situation that happened to him where during COVID he lost his job and his roommate kicked him out. And he had plans to get a place with a new roommate, but it fell through. So he was literally about to be living on the street. And he was one of my best moderators. Like I trusted him with so many things. And so when he was going through that struggle, I was like, hey, come out here to California, live in my stream room, help me with stream, and we'll make it happen. And he's lived here ever since.
And that's who's on stream with you now?
Yeah, that's who's on stream with me today. So he's been here for
that is a crazy story.
4 years. Yeah. And there's so many other people I have very similar stories with. Like when I flew to Texas, I stayed at one of my mods on Twitch, their house. And, we celebrated his son's birthday party, while I was there. And like, there's so many different people that I've met throughout this time, even in my time judging as well. There's so many people that I've become very close friends with through judging for the Pokemon tournaments, and that I, know on a very personal level. So it's like you meet all sorts of people and you create real like connections that go beyond just Pokemon.
That's wild. And so like he works with you full time now too?
Yeah, he's one of my full-time employees.
That is wild. Yeah, I would say that qualifies.
Yeah, it qualifies. Also, some people were like, you probably should have done that. He could have been an axe murderer. You don't know this guy. But, I'm a little too trusting sometimes, and I've come to be a little bit more careful now. But, yeah.
That is crazy. So you were living alone, right?
I was living, Azul was living here too. Azul GG, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, let's say you get your boyfriend there.
Yeah.
It's a little different than like, just you letting some random person in with just you there.
Right, for sure, yeah.
Okay, they asked this like 5 times. I have a question. What's your favorite Gengar card or plushie?
Oh, there's so many. How do you want me to pick between my children?
My children.
That's tough. I really do like my Black Label Gengar that I mentioned. It's technically a Pikachu card. So I know people are going to be mad about that, but I really do like that card because I graded it myself and it got a Black Label, and it's a really cool looking card. So I like that piece in my collection a lot. I also really like some of the figurines that I have. Those are really cool because some of them aren't official, but they're just like really sick looking. And
the figurines don't get enough love.
Yeah, the figurines do not get enough love. Yeah.
Especially, do you remember those ones? Like, it wasn't Gengar, but like from Generations, like the Pikachu, Blastoise, Charizard.
Yeah.
Those are like really cool looking. Like the Mew and Mewtwo fighting. Like, I just remember like in like back in XY era, there was like a lot of cool, I don't know, figurines.
Yeah, for sure. Another one of the pieces that I really enjoy is I have a PSA 10 Legend Maker reverse rare, and the Legend Maker Gengar is one of my absolute favorites, if not my favorite. I just really I feel like in his eyes, you can see into his soul, and it's just the perfect encapsulation of what Gengar means to me. Like, he looks mischievous, but he's also like looking like back at you. Like, he's like, hey, like, watch this. Like, it's such a good looking card to me. And that one really speaks to me.
I'm trying to pull it up. Let's pull it up right here. PSA 10 Legend Maker Gengar. There is actually one on eBay if anyone wants to buy it, and you can start competing.
Way more expensive than I got it for. I actually made a video on that as well, and I think I bought it for, yeah, it's not that anymore. Mine is the reverse copy, which I personally think is a little bit rare, but I bought mine for $900, and so that's probably yeah.
Where's the reverse? You can't really find a reverse one.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that's at now.
Probably some ridiculous number. Gengars are especially ridiculous right now.
Yeah. Where
Like,
Red Liger wants to know, is the Umbreon love conspiracy? Why is Gengar not given the same level of treatment?
honestly, I don't know. It should be,
Here's
but
one thing I can't understand. I can't understand the Garatina love. Like
hey,
I don't understand how one in in Sword and Shield, the Garatina, it's a V, it's not a V Max.
uh-huh.
And it's still more expensive than the Gengar from Fusion Strike. And the Fusion Strike box is more. I'm just like, I don't get it. It's all that, I guess it's all the Shinji Kondo love.
Yeah, I think it has to do a lot with the artist. I think people are really, especially in the past couple of years, and I think Pokemon actually helped this transition happen because recently Pokemon has started doing the artist meet and greets at their World Championship events.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has kind of helped the general public get more of a connection to these artists and their artwork that they do. And Pokemon has also recently done a lot better at doing reach on social media with weird, fun like things. Whoever is working in Pokemon social media marketing department is doing a really great job. But I think that, Garatina definitely deserves the love. That card is nice.
Yeah. All right, this is a good one. What is the most we've spent on a single item for our personal collection?
Oh, for the personal, I'm trying to think. I mean, I spend a lot of money on product all the time, but for the personal, I think probably well, I did buy that Gengar collection. And so that
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
that
well, that
wasn't a
doesn't count,
single
right? It's like
item,
a
but it was,
million, 1,500 items or something.
yeah, it was 950 items or so. And I think we evaluated that collection at like 95,000 or something like that. So,
You just had 95,000 laying around, huh?
well, but I think for a single item, it was probably like maybe like 10K at like for one thing.
Wow, that's still quite a bit. I haven't spent that much. I would say probably like when I bought like a gym challenge box. I think I paid like 4,000 for it back when I bought it. This was before like the boom or anything. This was back in like I don't know, 2018 or something.
Yeah.
I think that was like the most I ever spent, and then like the second most I think was like a first edition Blastoise card. It was like a PSA 9. I think it was around the same price, but I've never hit the 5 figures for a card yet or a
Yeah,
item.
it's no way.
Mm-mm. Like I would love to have a Phantom Forces box, but it's like what, $10,000 now.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for sure. there are there are a lot of products that are a lot right now.
I mean, it's kind of amazing because you look back and you didn't. It was hard to see any of this coming. I mean, honestly, like and when XY like kind of ended, people didn't really like. I feel like XY as much as they loved Sword and Shield and some of these other eras, but now all of a sudden it seems like XY everyone loves it and everyone always loved it. It's like it wasn't that way.
I mean, I feel like for me, I don't know if it's just like I have like a spidey sense or something, but I look at a card and I'm like, this card is undervalued, and I'll put it away in my closet for a while. And it's just like a feeling that I have. So like all of like the XY like gold cards that were like the secret rares, those were always so cheap. They were like $30, they were like $20. I was like, there's no shot. Like I kept all of those until they just went up recently. I was like, sometimes I personally feel like I think it might be because I've been in the hobby for so long and I've seen like so many cards like what they end up being like,
Yeah.
and kind of I have like a sense of like what people like, and like it's just I feel like it's just that people's focus. There's Pokemon is so vast, right? I think that people in mass can only focus on like so many things at a time. You know what I mean? So you kind of just have to wait for the focus to shift on to whatever kind of want it to,
100%.
and then dump or
I
whatever
agree.
you're gonna do.
How are you feeling right now? What are any cards on your radar right now?
I mean, I really, really like a lot of the trainer gallery cards that have come out, in the late Sword and Shield era. I really still like the Umbreon and Karen. I like the Sylveon, and I forget her name, the character that's on the card. And we've seen a couple of these cards go up, but I think they still have a little bit of room for growth.
Yeah, the trainer galleries, and honestly, like when you look at the hit rates, they're pretty much as hard to hit as a lot of those early Scarlet Violet era SIRs.
Yeah.
And so they're actually still relatively rare. And I don't think they're, yeah, I agree. They're not given the amount of respect I feel like they should be.
Yeah, but it's like all about like supply and demand as well. Like I talk about this a lot, and this is one of the big reasons I feel very weird about the new set, because we have pulled a massive amount of those Charizard SARs,
Yeah.
like a ton of them.
Now, have you pulled
And
any golds?
yeah, we pulled 1 gold too.
So I'm like 2,500 packs in, and I have 0 gold. I can't pull it.
Wait, how many packs have you opened?
Like 2,500.
2,500. I'm trying to think how many I've opened.
We've pulled 6 Charizards.
Okay, yeah.
So that's about right.
We pulled 7 in the gold, I think. So it's just like, for that set, for me, the prices are like, what is it now? I don't know if it went down today because the prices are all over the place. But what is the price
I believe
right
it's
now?
still more than the gold one.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's.
So have you opened a relatively around the same amount of packs then, or a little more maybe?
Maybe a little more.
Okay.
But I think around the same amount.
Because your pull rate on the Charizard sounds right, the SIR, but yeah, the gold, I guess you just got lucky and hit one.
I found one.
All right, I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see. All right, so let's see what we got here.
Well, yeah, it's still in the 700s, which is a big surprise to me. I mean, I know it is Charizard. Like, I get it. It's Charizard. But
it looks like it's just cracking now 700.
Okay. Well, so that price still doesn't make sense to me. With the amount that we've pulled.
Yeah.
In
and the gold's only 5
we've
mid
opened,
to high 5s.
Yeah. That seems a little bit more realistic.
Well, it's all crazy still, honestly.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's all crazy still. But I just think that 700 is a really absurd number for the pull rate, because market, this is like the rule of market, right? If you ever think about the price of anything, supply and demand is one of the rules of market, right? So when you have a card that, even if it does have a very high demand, if the supply is exceeding the demand, the value goes down, right? So we've seen so many of this card get pulled, and the set is so small that it accounts for that pull rate of how many we're seeing, because the set is so small. And I've pulled more Charizards, I'll have you know, than any other SAR. Like, almost combined. Like, I pulled, like, I think, like, 12 other SARs, but, like, that's almost as many total as, like, the Charizard that I pulled. But
yeah, I mean, that Obsidian Flames Charizard, relatively the same, low amount of SRs in the set, high pull rates.
Yeah.
That got down to like $30 or $40. Now, again, different market, everything was really cheap. But yeah, I think it's still way overpriced. Like, it'll probably get down quite a bit more, in my opinion. It's not going to go anywhere near what cards used to go for, because everything's more expensive now. But I mean, gosh, what do you think? What do you think's a good price for this that it'll stabilize at? Like, if you were going to buy it for your collection, what would you feel comfortable paying, you think?
So I relate it a little bit to the Mewtwo SAR from Destined Rivals, because I think those are both very popular Pokemon, but their problem is they have very different hit rates. So the Charizard is, I think, more popular than the Mewtwo, but the Mewtwo is much harder to pull than the Charizard. And the Mewtwo, I think, is evaluating right now at like around $500. So I would say I would expect the Charizard to be somewhere in that range. Like, I almost want to say it'll be a little bit less, but the market is so crazy right now, it's really hard to tell. So I'm going to say somewhere around like 500, maybe getting into the 400s.
Yeah, so it looks like the Mewtwo's actually now dropped a little bit, down in like the 420s to 430s.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say somewhere like between like 4 and 5, I'd feel comfortable. But like, I think that's honestly even too much. And I think that is like an inflated, number of what it truly should be. But I think in the current market, like, everything's so crazy that honestly, that is a realistic number in the current space.
I feel the same way. It's definitely like feels too high, but for the current market, it feels right. If that makes sense at all.
It doesn't feel right, but it does feel right.
Well, it's like when you look at all the booster boxes on the market right now, and you're like, should this set be this much? No, but how can it get to under $200 if every other set is over 200 type thing? So you're like, will it probably correct after wave 2 down in like the mid 200s? Probably. Should it go lower? Yeah, in a normal market. But right now, if SV base and Stellar Crown and all these Journey Together, all these weaker, smaller sets are all 250, why would this set be less type thing?
Yeah. Well, I think it's also going to gonna kind of depend on what the booster boxes end up being like in the market, because honestly, like if the booster boxes like stay this price and the Charizard stays this price, just rip booster boxes and get a shit ton of Charizards, and then just sell the Charizards. Just it doesn't make sense. Like in the current, like with the current prices and the current hit rates, it like doesn't make sense. So I think the box price is also going to kind of determine, like, if people realize that it's really common to pull Charizards in the boxes, the box prices may go up, and then the Charizard prices may stay the same because the box prices are now harder to get. You know what I mean? So
and then the gem rate will play into it.
Yeah,
if for some reason it's really hard to grade it, that could be a problem. But
yeah, and then investors could just really like this card and think it's really valuable and just juice it. You know what I mean?
I think everyone likes this card. I don't know if there's a person in the hobby that is saying this card is not amazing.
Yeah, but I'm saying like people with a lot of money, so they can like manipulate the market outside of the traditional factors that would usually like influence things. So it's really hard to say how it's going to go, but I would say that right now I would not buy it. I would not buy it at $700. I think that long term it will definitely go down. It's just like how long does it take for it to go down and how far will it drop? I would say I see a lot of people in the chat saying like 300, 200, and I agree with those numbers. I think that like ideally I think that's what it should be at, but we'll see how crazy, things are right now.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I mean, one card that comes to mind would be like the Van Gogh Pikachu that somehow stayed at the increased prices at what it's ran up to. But like most of the other cards, I feel like they go through pumps and then like a lot of them sell off. Like, we saw the Drowsy from base set go through that. We've seen a lot of the cards like go through these like run ups, and they do correct down quite a bit. It's weird how like the Van Gogh Pikachu has just like been on a run.
Yeah, it has been on a run. I mean, I just think it's, like I said, I think that sometimes things just are in the face of everybody for a time, and that's when they're the most popular and the most expensive. And I think that eventually it won't be in the face of things. Like, the demand is high right now because it's in the limelight, because everybody wants it. Demand is high, so I think once it's not in the limelight anymore, it will probably drop.
Well, Lorelai, I won't keep you all day. Anything you wanted to say before we wrap things up?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. There's so much Pokemon to be said.
Well, hey, if you want to keep going, take it away.
I mean, I'm not really doing anything. We can answer a couple more questions. I've got some more time. I don't know if anybody else had any questions. I think somebody asked what was my favorite Pokemon other than Gengar. So actually, it's funny that you mentioned Giratina, because Giratina is my second favorite Pokemon after Gengar. So I'm not a good...
Oh, that's why you were defensive of it. My bad.
No, it's all good. I was not a good person to ask why Giratina is so popular. I was like, well, because it's the best. It's the best, other than Gengar, of course. But yeah.
When did you? So like, okay, you said you got in the hobby when? Like, what generation was it? Gen 3. Gen 3 is when you got in. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I think Gen 3 is the best generation, and
of course you
feel like statistically, whatever.
Okay, statistically, I want to hear this.
Whatever gen you got into the hobby is what your favorite gen is. I think that
I agree.
It's a psychological thing, and it's usually not based on like any real factoids about the Pokemon themselves, other than I mean, maybe a little bit, but I feel like it's very highly biased towards the gen that you started with, or that you were the most involved in. Maybe not the first gen that you ever saw, but whatever one has the deepest connection for you. But I definitely think that Hoenn is the best gen, because if you think about all the Pokemon in the Hoenn generation, there are so many top tier designs that came out of Hoenn. If you look at all of the Pokemon for that generation, and you categorize them by and obviously there's different opinions for everybody, but generally agreed upon good Pokemon design, and you took them and you did a percentage, I think Hoenn would have a very, very high percentage of good Pokemon designs comparatively to other generations. You've got so many. You got Metagross, you got Gardevoir, you got Flygon, you got Aggron, there's so many stage 2 Pokemon that were bangers in that generation.
I mean, Rayquaza, Groudon,
Yeah,
Kyogre.
yeah.
I mean, they're some of the best legendaries for sure.
It's undeniable.
It's undeniable. I mean, obviously, I'm a Gen 1 guy, but
Yeah, personally really don't like Gen 1. I don't even like the Gen 1 cards. Like I'm kind of a WOTC hater. Other than like the e-reader sets, those ones are nice because the artwork they made a lot better. But it's just so plain. It's
yeah,
just so plain looking. I
for
can't
sure.
do it. Everybody's always like doing all these like first edition fossil box breaks on whatnot and like on different platforms, and I'm like, please stop.
I'm telling you,
You've
I
opened
grew up
it
with
into the
it.
ground. It's not even that cool. Like just
I can't say
open
you're
it
wrong. I grew up
cool.
with it. I have a huge amount of nostalgia for it. Like when I got back in the hobby, it's all I really collected was Gen 1 stuff. But the more you like progress in the hobby, it's so hard to deny at how much better it's gotten.
Yeah, I mean, no, I get people in the comments are saying that I wasn't around for Gen 1, so I don't understand. But I think I understand more than you because I wasn't there. So like, I don't feel like I have to take the Gen 1 team. You know what I mean? I can look at it from an outside perspective and be like, yeah, this isn't great. You
Yeah.
know?
And I was there and I'm saying it. It's like, here, if I had all the money in the world and I had to pick like one Mewtwo, I'd probably take like the Shining Legends Mewtwo over base set Mewtwo. Right.
Yeah,
Or like there's just so much different. I don't know. There's so many different varieties. The art's got so much better. And the cards now are just objectively, they're more rare. I mean, they're more plentiful because there's so much more of them, but they're so much harder to hit.
yeah,
It's so hard. You can't, if you go back to Gen 1, you pull the whole set out of what, maybe 3-4 boxes.
yeah.
And I don't know, it's just a different variety. But I do get the nostalgia. I understand Gen 1 collectors. I get the nostalgia. I was there for it. When I got back in the hobby, it's all I wanted to collect. It's kind of like you. I'm sure like Gen 3 is gonna have a whole different feeling for
I've
you
got
than
a
any of
Power
these new
Keepers
sets.
box right next to me that we're gonna open at some point. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, you want to see
When's
it?
that?
I got it from Ken.
Christmas Day?
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day or New Year's Day?
Christmas Day. I don't know. Whenever I find time to open it.
What is that even valued at now?
I think it's like 25K.
And you're gonna do a pack rip for it?
Yeah, like a box break on Twitch for it at some point. But we've done a
Now,
couple.
if you do that, you have to pre-sell.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we do pre-sell. I think I pre-sell usually how I do it is I pre-sell X to X number, and then I'll just sell the rest as they sell. It's fine. Like I did a Crystal Guardians box break, and that was awesome. We pulled the Charizard, but we didn't pull the reverse. It was the regular.
Still,
And then we
sell
did
out.
Legend Maker, which was really cool. And that one we didn't sell out of completely, but it sold like over time, and it eventually all sold. And then we're doing this one. So, and we've done other vintage boxes in the past, but like this era is my favorite. So and this one has all the EVs, all the Gold Star EVs in it. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
you don't see those very often. I mean, you see a lot more jungle fossil base set than those.
People are saying I hate Gen 1, but Gengar is my favorite. Well, I don't like Gengar.
Yeah, wait, I didn't even pick that. What's up with that?
I don't like Gengar because he's in Gen 1. I like Gengar because of him. You know, I don't think that where you come from should define all of you. You know what I mean? So
I remember the beginning when she was saying she wasn't very wealthy.
I own a business. So like this is for my business. So this is coming out of my business. But me as an individual, I'm not very wealthy.
That's how she gets around it, guys. So the private jet flights and the staying at the Ritz-Carltons, those are business expenses.
Hey, you got to write them off. Okay. The government is coming for you one way or another. You might as well, write off where you can.
That is funny how like your Pokemon became a Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yeah.
If it had to be Gen 3, which one would it have been?
Oh my God. I don't know.
I'm trying to look through, see which
Metagross. Yeah.
Metagross.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. And the reason is funny. So
Okay.
if any of you in chat have ever watched the Pokemon Deoxys movie, one of the trainers has a Metagross. And there was one scene, and it's all because of this scene. There's one scene in the movie where she's saying something to this Metagross, and he does like the kawaii eyes, like where they just go like full like half circles, and he just makes like this sound. And he just looks so cute, like he was like a puppy dog trapped in a tank's body or something like that. And I was like, oh, this guy, he's just a little sweetheart. He's just a little sweetheart. He just wants pets, you know? So
That's
I
all
like
it
him.
takes.
Yeah.
Metagross.
Pets.
All right. No Deoxys. No love for the Deoxys. Rayquaza's out.
They're okay.
We'll take it. That's her answer. Haunter's better than Gengar. You just made an enemy for life.
Yeah. You know, I appreciate Haunter's design. I think that Haunter's design is very cool. But like I said, the love for Gengar for me comes from, you know, my experience in life and everything that's come after that. So
that was a wild story how that just stuck with you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You can't plan for stuff like that.
I didn't look at Gengar and look at every other Pokemon in the franchise and be like, yeah, this one's the best design. I don't think Gengar is the best design, but I do appreciate him for his qualities. I do like something that I do like about Gengar that I came to realize later is that I feel like Gengar, like a lot of people in the world struggle with mental illness, right? I think mental illness is one of the most important struggles that people face in the modern era. And I feel that Gengar, or I see in Gengar, and that he encapsulates people trying to stick out tough times. Because if you watch Gengar's lore and you watch the show and all of that stuff, you'll notice that Gengar is kind of like a Pokemon that's seen as not loved. And he's dealing with a lot of internal struggles of dealing with not being loved. And he works through that with a smile on his face. You know what I mean? Gengar, you'll never see Gengar frowning most of the time. You sometimes in the anime, but all his merch is smiling, right? So even though he's dealing with all these things inside, he goes at life with a smile on his face, and I think that's a very powerful thing to represent.
For sure. I like that. Top Gengar 10 in your collection or that you're chasing.
Who?
Oh no, that you don't have in your collection that you're chasing.
That I don't have. I don't have a Misaki's in a 10. I have a Web in a 10, but I don't have the Misaki's in a 10. But I do have the Misaki's still framed in letter. So I feel like that's almost rarer than a 10 because it's in its original packaging.
Yeah.
In the original letter. So I'm not super upset that I don't have it in a 10 because I have that, which I feel like is.
Where did you get that?
Cool. On eBay. I got it on eBay for $250 back in the day.
Oh, that had to be, what, 2016?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's some of those old school prices there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, what about the Mega Dream coming out? Are you just going to go hard on that set?
I am going to go hard on it because I do, no matter if I like the Gengar artwork or not, I always collect a significant amount of it. But I personally don't really like this Gengar artwork all that much. I don't feel like it does it justice. I feel like, because I believe it's the same artist, correct me if I'm wrong, that did the Charizard. But I just feel like it was kind of a second, an afterthought. He did the Charizard, and then Gengar was kind of Pokemon was Charizard's the focus. Charizard's the focus of this set. We're trying to push this set, and the only good card is Charizard. We're putting Gengar in the next set because we don't need to put him in this set because Charizard will sell the set for us. We don't need to have Gengar in there.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just was kind of a missed opportunity to do something really cool with Gengar and encapsulate his personality. And his face looks cool. He's doing the side eye, he's doing the smile, all of that. He's looking mischievous. But I just feel like all the colors and everything that is happening in the background, they are cool. They are vibrant. I love that. But it's kind of too messy for me, and it's not telling a story. The card is very visually pretty, but it doesn't have any story to it. It doesn't have any I can't tell where the emotion is trying to go. I can't tell I wish that he would have been in some sort of scene and interacting with his environment more. I really like the Gengar VMAX alt art. It's actually one of my favorite modern cards because the concept of him Gigantamaxing and just sucking in the whole world is that's a super cool concept. It tells a story. It shows off the Pokemon and the art and the environment really nice. But this card, they just, it's just a bunch of colors swishing around and Gengar in the middle of it.
That's the most detailed breakdown I've ever heard of a card.
Hey, I like Gengar. I'm very passionate.
You went so deep on that, got into the feeling of Gengar in the card. That's wild.
Yeah.
No, that's a good breakdown. Like I don't think they were ready for that one. We got a real Pokemon Master referee on the channel. We're legit now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I had to social proof the channel. We had to bring Lorelai on, and now we're respected in the hobby.
Yeah, I'm really trying to do more content stuff in the future. So I appreciate you guys' support. Everybody who's followed me. I saw that some of follows come through on my ping. So, I really do appreciate that. I'm kind of taking on a new journey in my Pokemon, career. And I've been refereeing at the Pokemon World Championship for the past 10 years. And this was the first year that I didn't referee, and I actually got invited by Pokemon as a content creator. So it's kind of like a new chapter
really?
in my Pokemon journey. So yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you're like an official creator for
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And so you didn't ref this year?
No, yeah.
So is that like it's not going to do it anymore, or was this 1 year?
So I have a passion for refereeing, so I definitely want to do it in the future. It's just unfortunately, like I said earlier, time is a resource, and I run a business, and I'm trying to make content now, and I'm doing all these things. So I kind of have to pick and choose like when I want to focus on certain things more, and like because I try to put my all into like everything that I do. So I don't want people to feel like they're not getting the full me, and they're getting like a half-assed, version of what I want to put out. So it's hard for me not to, referee and do all that stuff, but I just want to take some time to focus on this chapter and see if I can balance it, later. Type of thing.
Yeah, does it take like a lot to? I mean, I guess you have to kind of keep up on all the mechanics and all the new cards and everything because you have to know how to judge it all, right? So it probably takes a lot to like prepare to refer an event like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very important to stay like up to date with the current metagame. It's very important to know what the cards do, and obviously, like the rules are actually updated pretty frequently. Like Pokemon tries to always do their best to make sure they are keeping things fair, and as new developments come out, they will try to fix things that maybe have not been the most, the best in the past or the best way they could have done it. So they're always changing things and trying to make things better. And it's important as a referee to be keeping up to date with all of those things. So that way you're on top of your game. And I also feel like it's very important to play the game as well if you're a referee, because you just don't understand the interactions as much if you're not, playing the game yourself at least a little bit to try to get some practice. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of preparation, a lot of things you have to know. So I just don't feel like I have the time.
Have you held on to a lot of those like promos and things that you've gotten like from the Worlds and all that?
Yeah, I have a lot of them. I actually have one. So usually for the staff cards, they give us more than one. So I held on to one of each staff card, but nice. I've got rid of a lot, but I still have some. Yeah. I actually graded one a while back and I got a 10. So that's super.
I think you should grade them. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that one I'll never sell. Field, but like a lot of the stuff, like the Gengar stuff, it's like I don't really care about like how much it's worth because I'm never gonna sell it. So it's like the value of it doesn't really exist to me because it's like I'm never planning to sell it unless I die. Maybe my family will sell it, but I don't know. I want to be buried with my Gengars. We actually, me and my friends joke about this. We were like,
"It's gonna be a massive grave plot."
Yeah. So they were like, so I was like, okay, here's the plan if I die. You're gonna make a Gengar mausoleum, but it's gonna be Gigantamax Gengar. It's gonna be like a Gigantamax Gengar, and then inside the mausoleum will be the entire Gengar collection surrounding my grave.
Imagine like how we're like finding like these ancient Egyptian tombs. Someone finds this like 300 years in the future, and they're just like, "What happened here?"
Yeah, they're like, "What is this?" They're gonna think it's like some demonic like shrine.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be like feel like they're cursed.
Yeah,
for going in that, which they may be.
maybe. I'm like looming over.
That's wild. No, but I mean, I really do appreciate you taking the time to come on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We need to do it again in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm always down. I love doing collabs with people. I love talking to people in the community. Like I said, like I started doing this because I like the community so much. So I'm
kind of like where you're at, like in a way, like I want to start branching out more too, and like just talking to more people like yourself, and like, or maybe even have your boyfriend on net with you next time, like, and just like talk to more people that are in different aspects of the hobby. Because a lot of people I talk to obviously are in like the business side, the investing side, the market, type. And I just don't think like at least people that are in kind of this world hear much about like the other stuff going on.
Right, for sure. And I feel like people get like super hyper focused on like the TikTok like rip people and the whatnot rip people, because like I feel like that's where the camera is focused right now. It's like TikTok, YouTube, whatnot, all of that stuff. And there's so many other aspects of the Pokemon community that aren't really being showcased as much. And so many people, I met so many amazing people that really don't get a lot of credit for all of the stuff that they do. So
no, for sure. Like some of the like the best like I don't know, listens I've had of people are just like smaller creators, not a lot of viewership, and it's just like, man, it's just the flashiness sells, right? Like the in your face, the short form content, like the hyperbolic type, drama type stuff. That's what sells, and that's what gets the views.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does.
No, that's cool, guys. All Lorelai's links pinned to the top of the chat. It's also in the description. We got her Twitch, her YouTube, her Instagram. Her link trees are on her Instagram for her store and everything else. Stream tomorrow night. What time?
5 p.m. PST. Oh no, it's gonna be it's Tuesday today. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. PST. Yeah.
5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check her stream out. What anything crazy going on for the streams this week?
Oh my goodness. We are doing a bunch more of the new set, but we're just gonna try to rip more Charizards, I think.
Try. I need to rip the gold Charizard. I'm gonna try to this week.
It's pretty much guaranteed at this point. Like with every stream, we've ripped at least one. So it's like I think it's at this point it's like guaranteed that we're gonna rip another one.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, guys, check her out. Thanks for everyone for stopping by. Everyone from Lorelai's side, thank you guys for stopping by the channel. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you back here in a new one soon.